2 years ago, I started Backstage at Unfiltered because I had too many things spiraling in my head and not enough answers. Since then, on this podcast, we've spoken about the politics of partying, beauty, ego, authenticity, independent media, accessibility, community, queerness, art, care, and everything that happens around the dance floor. I've invited DJs, journalists, artists, bookers, promoters, researchers, and friends into this purple booth. Together, we try to understand what nightlife is, what it could be, and what it says about the world we live in. For this 6th episode of season 2, and the last one ever, I'm ending where I ended last season, alone. Not because I figured it all out, quite the opposite, actually. I wanted to call this episode Things I Wish I Knew Before Getting Deeper into the nightlife scene as a hypersensitive, neurodivergent, and quite opinionated woman. I want to go over the things nobody really prepares you for, what it is to build something in public while trying not to lose yourself in the process, about discovering that some people only like you till you have boundaries. This episode is also about realizing that not everyone who talks about care practices it. It's about understanding that the underground isn't magically free from the system it criticizes. But it's also about the people who made me stay, because for all my frustrations, one thing remained true. The dance floor and its people gave me more faith than the backstage ever did. And maybe that's why I kept showing up. Maybe that's why I'm still here today. It's very important to me to maybe put everything back into perspective, as I feel like this episode could be the first one some of you listen to. It's also meant to be like this, so then you can use the rest of the episode as tools, as these little seeds that it's meant to be, to help you understand things better. So my name is Leah. I identify as a woman. My pronouns are she, her. I'm currently 27 since last week. I was born in Brussels. I grew up in Uccle, in a Jewish-centered life. Then I went to public school. I studied business, and I ended up, thanks to my love of music, of people, and the big time I spent on social media, I got to do what I do now, and also thanks to a lot of luck, and I would say some curiosity too. Yeah, so that gives you a whole view of what's up in here. And yeah, we've been doing this podcast for 2 years now, thanks to GIMIC crew that I really love and appreciate. And now I kind of feel like, as I started this podcast 2 years ago, but as I really dove deeper into the scene almost 4 years ago, I wish someone gave me some pretty simple but necessary advice. And if some of you identify as anything close to me, but also feel like they could get some knowledge from what I'm saying, then this episode is for you. What I wish I knew first is what the backstage was. Actually, we never really talked, as lots of people that listen to this podcast are maybe not even in the scene, what a backstage is. What is it meant for? What does it do in some way? So the backstage, depending on where you are, is the room that's in the back, usually. That's meant to be for the artists, for the organizers sometimes to rest, to leave their stuff, to prepare before their performances, and also to be able to take a step away from the crowd, from the noise of it all, quietly. That's on paper what it should be about. When it's more about concerts and live performances, you're gonna have different sizes of backstages. You will have showers maybe in your backstage, as some people are touring, so that's something that's very necessary. The artists want to take a shower before or after their concert. The rooms can be bigger. There can be washing machines in the backstages for them to wash their stuff before getting back on tour bus. But that's usually more for like the big bands. Now I'm gonna get back to what it is when you're more on the agent, on the DJ side. So the thing is with a backstage, it can be very exciting to get there at first, because it's kind of now this thing that's meant to be hype and cool. Like if you're in the backstage, you're one of the cool people, because that means you know someone or you did something. And that should mean you get access to this very private place where you get to connect with these people that you shouldn't be able or couldn't be able to connect with. For an agent, this is a very interesting place, because that means you can finally maybe meet the promoters in real life. You can also meet the other DJs. But that can also mean for some people that it's a place where, because everything is cool there, there's behaviors that can be shitty that also are seen as cool, such as doing drugs, drinking alcohol, also yapping about other people in the scene, because that's something that really happens. Even though you think someone is not going to talk over you, this is truly the place where you put everyone that is kind of like building the parties, like the production people can be there, the promoters, the DJs, the agents, and they're gonna talk shit. Most of the time, they're gonna talk shit about you. So if you did something that they don't feel like it, they're gonna talk shit about you. And that's something to really keep in mind, because that means also if you talk shit with someone, they can also tell someone else that you talk shit with them. You follow me? And that's like really representative, in my opinion, of what goes on in this scene. It's lots of criticizing, very rarely objective. People love to give their opinion. Also, the backstage is a very good place for people that don't have sometimes enough confidence to kind of like dump over you everything that they want you to know that in their mind makes them more worthy. Such as, I went to this gig last week and then I did this one, and then, oh yeah, I met this person, and then the crowd was like this, blah, 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 and then everybody was screaming. So yeah, it's kind of like this place that also like seems to be and was supposed to be the place where, as an artist or someone that works with the artist, you can take a moment to chill, breathe, rest if you need to the thing that kind of feels like a cage. Because once you're there, it's kind of like there's all these new rules that nobody really tells you about that you kind of have to follow. So that's usually how it goes. But to me, some stuff that I started to notice about these places and that are very important to me, it's how it shows so much about someone. I've been working these past couple of years in different aspects. I've been an agent. I'm still an agent. I do artist hospitality sometimes, which means when the artist and their crew arrives, I show them the venue. I show them where to put their stuff. I bring them drinks if they need to. If there's an issue, I'm the one they can come to also. So that's one thing that I do. But I'm also a party person. And I'm also, I think, quite a respectful person. Or, as I thought, it was bare minimum. Some stuff I started to notice more recently, and that's stuff that like I do not accept anymore. And I feel like if you're listening to me and sometimes you're greeted into a backstage, first things first is who is in charge? Who is the person taking care of this space? And also, who am I regarding to this place? Like, am I one of the person working to make this night better or not? Stuff as simple as like, don't litter over the place. If you have trash, please put it in the trash. If there is someone there, you don't have to not eye contact them. You can just smile, you can wave. Saying hi is just like normal behavior. You can be nice. That's very cool. And one thing is, as much as some people from older generation, or even as I'm part of a queer community, feel like it's very normal to just pull some powders out of your bag and then put them on the table and do it in front of anyone else, sometimes just take a moment to look around, read the room, and check if maybe this is not the place to do so. As much as it became part of the club culture to do drugs or even smoke cigarettes, please ask. Ask the artist hospitality person. Ask the other person around you. Do they mind? And another thing that's quite necessary is also, you never know what someone, how someone feels about these things. So maybe don't tell someone, do you want a line? That's a thing that's like very common. And mostly in these spaces, but not only in these spaces. Like, it's just club life, culture. It's also the way people bound in the scene, which I kind of didn't really get because, well, I never really talked about these things, but last year, so a year ago, I stopped doing any type of hard drugs, which is, again, a very taboo subject. I stopped doing it because I felt like mentally it was very exhausting, physically it was exhausting, and because for me it was never a thing of like I had cravings in the week, but it became this automatic thing that I was doing every weekend, mostly in the backstages, that helped me bond with some people, that helped me, that I got later actually handle small talk. Because if you're a person who's neurodivergent on the spectrum in any way, ADHD, be very mindful about this. You cannot compare yourself to someone who's going to have a full bender in the weekend, gets back to it the week after, and just be chill. It's going to affect you in different ways. Of course, it's never good for the body. Nobody gets out of this totally chill. At some point, maybe in a couple of years, you will lose teeth, you will lose hair, you will lose your liver. Like, this is real, guys. Like, this is still too much of a taboo subject, but this is real. This is happening, and you have to be mindful of this because it's not going to affect only you. It's going to affect the others. And all these things about the way you behave and the way it's going to like affect the others. Please keep that in mind all the time. It's like very important. And to finish off with all this backstage situation, it's one good aspect of it. And for me, that's what it should be about. It's, again, the place where you can chill. But also for like, if in a club, you don't have, that will be a way I would do it. If you're in your club, in your party, there's no place where people can sit and breathe and chill. I guess the people that are always front row dancing hard, technically, these are the ones that should be in the backstage. Maybe having a little soft drink, being able to breathe, take back their energy, because they're bringing the vibe on the dance floor. So that's, I guess, a little food for thought. While you simmer on that and I have a little drink, I will let you with this track from Rosa Red called Feel So Free. And we'll get back to the rest of it after that. what's nice with the backstage too, it's the thing of like you never know on who you're gonna bump. Like in who? I don't know. We said that in French. But you never know who you're gonna meet, and sometimes you're gonna end up meeting the best person ever. You're gonna meet someone who actually you never had time. You've seen in the party, and you never had time to talk with them. And that's to me one of the most like the things that means the most, as I don't do small talk because it's really boring to me, or if I do it, I'm already like preparing myself mentally because that's something that I keep doing. If I know already that, okay, this person, I feel like we're not gonna bond properly, it's gonna be quite hard to connect. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be in this mode that's like kind of masking, and that's Leah, that's very normal, not normal. I don't believe that, but normal. And then the rest of the time, I was quite naive to think that sometimes because someone kind of looks like you, or like you connect with their music, you connect with what they bring out, you're obviously gonna work well together. That's not true. First of all, because people say a lot of things that they don't follow through. I did that too. Emphasis on I did that too when I was mostly on high, because you test stuff, you feel stuff pretty intensely, and then you go back to life and you're like, actually, I'm tired. Actually, I have other friends. But that's also one thing I want to go over. It's like this thing of friends. It's making friends is quite hard, and it gets quite lonely. And we've discussed this in a past episode, but it's like you're gonna connect in people in such a fast way that's quite unnatural sometimes, because you're gonna get deep into this conversation that's super interesting. And again, as a person that has ADHD and that's hypersensitive, I really care about this conversation. They feed me, they make me want to keep doing this, because the main reason of why I'm doing all of this is I love people. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people get impacted by this, the way their body can move, and they never knew that their body could do that, And yeah, then you start to become this person that like people greet. They're happy to have you over. People give you stuff. You arrive somewhere, people gives you a drink. Someone gives you a drink. People invite you to their party. People give you access to the spaces that are the most comfortable. People give you access to actually a version of you that's like approved. This version. But also, that's the main issue, and you'll see where I'm going with this, as people want you around until you have boundaries. Either you're an agent, a promoter, a collaborator, friend, a woman, someone who speaks up. People want you there till you have boundaries. You can be someone that's very opinionated. People love you for this. Oh, people love that the person that's opinionated is there at their events, is hanging out with them, because in some way that means they're good, right? It's like per association, that means you're good. But then once you start calling people out, or you start going to people, even not calling them out, like just going to them and be like, hey, so this I don't like. Or you start to ignore them because sometimes you're like, okay, this person is not my friend. Like I can just like leave them on the side. Well, people don't like this. And something you should prepare yourself for is you think you're facing adults. Everybody's a baby. Everybody's a big goo goo gaga baby, and people take things so personally. And usually, to me, it's the people that are having their full head into the scene. So usually they don't have a side job. Their friends are all from the scene. And yeah, they cannot really reflect. Because if they reflect, then maybe they have to understand that stuff that give them privilege are the stuff that are actually affecting other people. And that's then they have to check with themselves, am I a good person? Which to me, like, if anyone has the same type of brain as me, it's like, I keep asking myself every day, every second, if I'm a good person, if I'm doing this for the right reasons. As me solely shouldn't be the right reason. There should be logic behind stuff I do, which doesn't mean I do it all great, again. But yeah, people are gonna be very critic of you. It can actually eat you up if you don't have allies, people that are ready to fight with you these things, because everybody's like very easily people that you thought were following you. Because another thing that I got through the years, it's like it's very easy to agree with me. I'm someone who's gonna without a filter say what they feel about something, what they understood from something. I'm very black and white sometimes. Like if I feel something is bad, I'm gonna be like, it's bad. And this non-filter situation is like, well, it's hard to handle when you don't agree with it. And then the thing is, it's also easy after that for people to kind of like reuse what you said against you. I faced a couple of situations where I've said stuff. Some I regret, some I didn't say the right way. And I'm sorry for that, truly. But most of the time, what came out of it is never people trying to understand why I said something, or like, oh, she did it wrong, but now she's trying to do better. What people think usually is like, this is bad, that stays bad. There's nothing that can be done about it, you know? Maybe to some of you, it's like a logical thing. To me, it wasn't. Like, I still keep thinking. To me, it's like club. How is it possible that we work in art, in clubbing, in community, like community work? So, because to me, it's kind of social work, you know? How can you be doing these things and not think about doing better for the greater good? That should be the point. That is not the point of everyone. And that can get very tiring if you're not this type of person. So yeah, get ready to be criticized. Get ready to be appreciated to some extent. And have a friend group outside of all this bubble. A real friend group. Spend time with people who don't agree all the time with you. Like, actually, I think the people that feed me the most in the scene are the ones who I'm not agreeing on everything with. Who, in their heart, I feel like we're aligned, but we're not going to agree. We're going to work through things, and they're going to raise something up, and I'm not going to feel good about it sometimes. And I'm going to be like, okay, let's go further with that. And I think that's a good way to do it. That takes lots of energy. That's kind of the thing. It's like, I feel like doing the right thing takes a lot of energy. I feel like doing the bad thing takes a lot of energy. But it's nice to know where to draw the line sometimes. So, well, yeah, if you're someone who's very opinionated, who is kind of aligned with themselves, please keep being like this. Like, please keep this spark alive. And keep it also by not having your full head in the scene, by actually not starting, because all my activities, I kind of started, so during the agency thing, having works in nightlife, my hobby was partying, so I was partying, and my friends came from there at first, even though they're not involved in like working there, it's like they're partying there. But it becomes all your life, and then it's super hard sometimes to get out of like the drama that's inside the scene, first of all, but also financially, that's a bad choice, which affects it all. And it's just not healthy. If for you it's a passion thing, if you're a hypersensitive person who is really passionate about these things, I would advise you to have a job 3 days a week, maybe, that has nothing to do with this. And then on the other side, you can start working with this thing that's not gonna make you rich. Because that's another issue, but I don't know if we're gonna fully go over this, as we've talked about this so much in other episodes, but people want to make money. You want to make people happy. You're not working for the same thing. Now, we'll listen to this track by this producer and DJ that I really love, that we booked last New Year, or 2 New Years ago, in Brussels with my friend Robin STDJ. Her name is Soa420. This is her track Red Eyed. Seeing everything, hearing everything, feeling everything is gonna fuck you up. When I grew up, as I've said many, many times, I came from a pretty privileged background. I grew up surrounded by people who had money, who could go on holiday, who had two parents, who had kind of this group of people behind them that could sustain them. And that was something that I was, I had this as an example for quite some time. And then came going to uni, studying business, with people who thought things in a businessy way. Ended up doing an internship for this venue, blah, 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 blah. And now I'm here. Between these times, many things have happened. I learned about life. I learned about differences in people. I moved in different areas of Brussels. I moved in different cities. I met people with different backgrounds. I started to read more about what capitalism is, what it means. I started reading more about sociology, philosophy, historic stuff, even though I cannot remember the dates and names of everything. I cannot remember the concept, but I don't remember anything. And you start learning these things and you kind of, well, I did. I kind of gained class consciousness, if that makes sense. I started to see how being part of one group of people could really be beneficial for you. Spoiler though, some stuff that helped me is, I think I said that before, I grew up getting bullied in this private school I was going to. Bullied for just like looking like something or like not being too much of this, too much of that, you know? So it's like already stuff you kind of learned. Then I was also, I stopped talking to my parents, both of them. I stopped talking to my brother, my only brother. I still have grandparents who help me, which makes me able to do all of this because they help me financially. But when people are like, do you, like, what's your family like? Like, do you have a family? I'm like, I kind of don't, like, the concept of family, it's not working to me. Like, it's not working for me. I'm like, there's these people, you were born in their tribe, and then you should, like, love them and, like, do everything for them. But that doesn't make sense to me. It's like, that's something that you gain with trust, something you can grow to want to do for other people, but because you're born from them, that shouldn't be helping. Still, I do feel that working in a artistic field, it gets very lonely to not be part of like a family, to not have this group behind you. And maybe that's also something that makes me in some way, because it just didn't happen in one day. It's like I kind of broke up with them through time, which gave me strength to be able to kind of still have this mindset of like, if there is a pattern that I don't vibe with, I will try to break it, whether people want it or not. If I think that makes sense, if I give it enough thoughts, of course I talk to it with my friends, but I will do this, and it brings you to a place where like you're gonna see and feel all these little things, and you'll want to go to people because you think they want the same thing as you. Again, they do not want the same thing as you. And it takes time, but something I wish I knew would that not everybody is worth your time and your advices and your want to do and to have a better scene for everyone. Sometimes people don't care. And again, coming alone is harsh, but it's even harsher when you don't have this safety net that is people to support you. It's very hard. If you also have any type of hard menstruation, it's harder during some times. If you have any physical pain that comes into the addition, it's gonna be even harder. And doing everything for everyone is gonna kill you. It's gonna kill you because you cannot do everything. And we discussed this on the last episode as slowing down as an act of resistance. You cannot have something going on every time of the day. that's coming from someone who has savings, who has people who could help me if I was in a very, very deep, bad situation financially. But I don't think that's worth the pain, to put everything into this, to put your whole soul, to give everything you know you have for a greater good that not everybody wants. Because that's the thing. In some places, you will want to do the things your own way, but maybe it's not there that it should be happening. Because that's something I kind of understood also more recently. It's like you have these parties and you feel like they're not accessible, but sometimes it's good in a way that there's a certain type of people somewhere, another type of people somewhere else, you know? It's not the end goal for me. I feel like everybody should be everywhere. Like you should have every type of person in every space. But I guess that's not like what everybody wants, you know? So it's quite hard when you see it all. And it's also this thing of like, you will want to change the system. And something that Jamie Silk, if you don't follow him, go follow him on social media. He posts lots of very interesting things and analysis that he has on the scene. One thing that he said is, I don't think we change a system from the inside. And I'm still wondering about this because I kind of believed that I could do it for a while, that I could help to change some stuff. But maybe the answer is building your thing. Not so far from it, but still outside of it, to be able to, well, create this thing that is built on your own rules, as to kind of build it down. It's like, yeah, society was built for a certain type of people. I am not this certain type of people. You're not this certain type of people. Lots of people are not it. The people that kind of made the music that... Because that's also something I'm always like, fuck, like the music hasn't been made for people to just like sit and be like, oh wow, it's so fun. No. The music has been made so we like kind of burn everything. Like that's the whole point. And I'm still wondering if you can change a system from the inside. Because at some point I kind of feel like this is changing me more in a way that I don't like than the other way around. Next, we're going to listen to this track by Kate Hortel. It's called K.O. Let's listen to it. It's kind of killing me, all of this. And I'm not the only one. I've seen so many people who, in the past 4 years, have had a couple of depressions, burnouts, phases where they kind of felt like they couldn't do anything, that they were powerless. And obviously, it's happening in any field. I feel like what I say here for the electronic scene, club scene, can be put on so many different aspects of life, but still something I believe is true is like the music scene to me is one of the best ways to see what goes good or bad in life, because it's so concentrated and so major and so important for everyone that it's a very simple, not so simple, but simple way to see what's up. Yeah, it kind of killed me. It made me lose faith. I arrived with so many ideas, so many things I wanted to do, feeling like, excited, just coming out of my studies, or like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I finished my studies. I wanted to do my master's, just to do master's. I didn't know what to do. And I started doing this. And the thing is, like, I feel like lots of people that kind of are like me stopped doing what I do, or they're in different areas. The thing is, I feel like I approach things in a very artistic way. And I keep wondering, am I in the right place? To lots of people, I would say it's not because you know how to do something that you should do it. Or that you should stay in this comfort zone. I learned how to do business. I was taught how to do all of this. Like I was pushed to do mini entreprise, which is like small business in high school. I did like boot camps in high school because my mom pushed me towards that. I did like so many things in these areas. I was always on social media. And these are things I know how to do. But then now I'm here and I've learned stuff. And for my ADHD brain, it's like I feel like kind of like sometimes the game is over. You know, like I understood the game. So either I can keep playing this game that I know I'm gonna lose. It's not a game that you win. It's a game that you lose, actually. So I can keep playing this game, or I can kind of start a new game that could feed me different ways. Through time, the people I kept connecting the best with are usually the artists. To me, not every DJ is an artist, but like people that are more on the artistic side, but mostly people that were not in the backstage. Like the dancers, you know, like you're front row, you're dancing. This is something I keep doing, and I swear to God, if you're getting in positions of being production, the production person, or any spot in the club, you're the promoter, even you're a DJ, you're an agent, go dance, go in the crowd. You need to know what it's about. You need to know what's happening. If not, you're going to be part of the problem. Why it's all going downhill, you know? Why it's so businessy, why it's so fucked up. And yeah, so now a big question I'm asking to myself is, still, I'm so happy. I'm like really grateful and so happy about the things I got to do. Like I got to this podcast. That's crazy. Was 25, and then like, I'm going to put it that way, but like a guy that I've talked a couple of times with, like kind of was like, yeah, she seems like that's the type of thing she would enjoy to do. And like, he was like, do this podcast. And I did, and I got to meet so many people. And that's actually what keeps me going on. And that's the thing that always brings me back. I've had a couple of months where I was so, like, feeling like it's what I do is useless. You know, sometimes you work with artists. And again, as an agent, sometimes you're going to get treated as, like, you should be doing everything. Like, you are, like, the reason why, no, the artist is the reason why they're touring. You're the reason why, like, you're just handling stuff, but like they could do it themselves, you know? And that's something that's like happens to lots of agents, a feeling that can come to lots of people. people are sometimes also very entitled. That doesn't mean they're mean. That just means they're lost. They're comparing themselves or whatever. But it's gonna get back to you, and then it's this type of things that like kind of eats you up, because it's this plus another interaction that you had, plus the little drama in the scene, plus again, you're hypersensitive a woman. I love to dance, but also I get pushed in a crowd so easily. I get triggered because someone talks behind me. I want to say something, but also, am I going to say it to someone who's going to be capable of understanding? Am I going to say it in a way that they would understand? No, it's not just always about the other, it's about me. And I got lost, and I didn't know if I was doing this for the right reasons. I felt like there's so much, and everything is like on my shoulders. And sometimes I would really appreciate if like people were like, "This is the way to do it. That's how you should be doing it." And there's people like this. That's the thing. And these people, the people you trust, you have to stick to them, because there are some that will say something, they will do the thing. If they don't do it, they will acknowledge what they didn't do, or there's these people. Stick to them. When someone is like, I can help you, ask me, ask them. And I'm very grateful. There is a couple of older, 10 years older, but like older guys in Brussels. Anytime we went to these events, in other countries, or like these more silly events, they were like, oh, you know this person? No, you don't? Come with me. Oh, you don't know what to do after we're going to this dinner? Come with us. You should stick to these people. Stick to the people who want to help you, and stick to the people who know what's up, who are inside the party, who even work in the different fields. Stick to the people who do the cleaning, to the people who do the lighting, the technicians. Stick to everyone that has their head enough outside of it all. That's one thing that you should really do. And I swear to God, you should do it. And not do something because you know how to do it, but because that's really something you feel like doing. If what you love is not in this field, you can always do something new. I feel like the world is shifting fast enough that in the end, you can grow a career or like whatever in a specific field, and it will mean nothing in a couple of years. Even though you've built all these things, everything shifts so fast. There's new stuff. There's like stuff that die down, and that's good. That's pretty good. And even the things that you build, sometimes they will go to sleep, and you should also go to sleep. Something I wish someone told me. Sleep well, more. Drink water also. Pretty interesting advice. And before we get to the last part, I will let you listen to a couple minutes of Mel G's Forever track.
You can forever be. You can forever be. Starts at any time you like and ends in just a blink. This moment is quite always, no matter where or when. For all that is, just is, and nothing's ever gone. something you're not seeing. You can forever be. You can forever be.
So, right. The moment recently that I've felt, okay, this is what I do it for. My friends pulled this party. It was 3 different, like one sound system, 2 collectives, putting a party together. And the magic that I do it for happened. I was so happy to help them to the entrance for the first 2 hours and see so many different faces. I saw people that were in high school with me. I saw people that come from Ghent. I saw people that come from France. There's people different ages, different neighborhoods, different gender affirmations. Like very, very different crowd, yet everybody worked well together. And you could see people really being genuine. I'm struggling a lot usually with contact or people being too intense. And as this was a non-smoking backstage, I went outside to smoke a joint, and it felt so good to be surrounded by people who are kind. And there are some places where the people are kind. And I'm wondering, is it when the scene is not mainstream yet? Is it where it's still crafty? Is it where it's coming mostly from love? When it's messy? When it's last minute? When it's not so perfect? When the communication is not the best? But where the team that works for it is actually the ones that go to the events of the others. And then they know what to expect. That makes me come to my last notes, I would say. In the end, I don't feel like I've said everything I wanted to say. I never say enough. Like I can talk for 10,000 ages. What matters is surround yourself by people who you love, who love the same things as you do. Keep your spark. If you start to feel like you're losing your spark, that might mean you're not in the right place. That might mean you should create your own place. What really would make sense is for all of us to speak our minds up. That's not possible for everyone. But I would say something that I'm missing and I feel is gonna be my main goal from now on is, again, electronic musics are political. They're rooted in values, they're rooted in messages. And now what we need to do is fight. We need to fight the system. We need to fight hierarchies. We need to fight shit people who do shit things. We need to work all together for a better good. And yeah, I would say that. And also, well, thanks to everyone who listened to me these past 2 years. I hope I will be back to talk with many more people. I really want to thank everybody that came on the talk, on the podcast. That's time that they gave like for free. And I hope we get to do more of that. I hope that someone, like, if anyone listens to this and are like, yeah, I wish I would do a podcast. I wish I would do this thing. I want to talk more publicly and speak up my mind, then do it. Contact your local radio, contact people, ask for advice, and then do it. I love you all, and keep supporting your local scenes. Keep supporting people who do the good. Tell people when you like what they do. Don't do drugs. Well, sometimes you can also do some. It's fun sometimes. Fight me. And drink lots of water. Bye.